Alright everyone, and welcome back to Vettel Career. Sorry there haven't been any of these recently. I've been sick for the past week, but hopefully should be getting back into consistently doing these now then. But here's the driver standard then after the previous race. Of course it was a disastrous race in Indianapolis for Vettel, scoring no points, and yeah, quite a long way off the points now then, but still mathematically possible, so he'll still be trying to get back into it at the French Grand Prix. And here's what happened in qualifying. It was a fantastic Saturday for the Renault team, with Fernando Alonso taking pole position ahead of teammate Fisichella. The team will be confident of a strong result on home soil. Ralf Schumacher was a big surprise of qualifying, lining up third in his Toyota. He'll be looking to add to the two podiums scored by Trulli earlier in the season. Fellow countryman Sebastian Vettel left it late in Q3 to qualify 5th for Red Bull, pipping champion leader Michael Schumacher, who leads the Ferrari charge from 6th. McLaren looked off colour on Saturday, with Montoya and Raikkonen just 7th and 9th respectively. We're expecting them to stay out longer in the race and gain places in the pits. Rubens Barrichello struggled to get close to Jenson Button, qualifying 7/10 slower than his teammate. It's possible Honda are running split strategies here, so don't write him off just yet. Meanwhile, it's another miserable day for Felipe Massa, who was knocked out in Q2 despite seemingly returning to form lately. So it's the 6th pole of the season then for the Renault team, but their first front row lockout of the season then, with Alonso ahead of Fisichella. Ralf Schumacher then the surprise of qualifying there in 3rd, with Button quietly confident in 4th place, as will Sebastian Vettel in 5th, and Michael Schumacher will be looking to establish centre from 6th. There's Montoya in 7th in what wasn't a great qualifying for McLaren, ahead of Mark Webber, and there's Kimi Raikkonen in 9th. They'll be hoping that they've got good fuel loads for the race, as will Rubens Barrichello and Felipe Massa then, who were only 10th and 11th in their Honda and Ferrari respectively. Trulli couldn't get anywhere near his teammate in 12th. Villeneuve was the first BMW in 13th, and then further down we see Klein and Speed getting through to Q2, and a bad day for Heidfeld there in 18th. And there's the two Midlands on row 10 and the Super Gurries on row 11. Here we are then on the grid, and a good qualifying then for Vettel. Maybe he can convert into another strong result today then. The lights are going on now. And away they go then for the French Grand Prix, and it looks like it's been another decent start then for Vettel, and into turn 1 then, is flat out turn 1 of course, and they're heading around now to the Estoril curve. Vettel with quite a wide line there, that's allowed Michael Schumacher through in fact, so not way wide at all, but it looks like Button didn't get the best tactics out of that corner then, and that's actually compromised the Ferrari driver, so Vettel back up into 5th place then, so it's not as bad as it first looked then after that little mistake in Estoril, but heading towards the Adelaide hairpin now then. Button looking at the inside of Ralf Schumacher, the two Renaults are side by side at the front. It looks like Button's forced Ralf out wide, and that's allowed Vettel to go through as well then, so up into 4th place already then for Vettel. Good start from there, and you can see at the front the two Renaults have swap place then. Fisichella has passed Alonso. That is really not what the two Renaults need here then. Not what the Renault team needs anyway, but yeah, good start for Vettel then, up into 4th place, and skipping now then to lap 2 then of the race, and looks like Button's got a little bit of a gap now then over Vettel, but as they head on the brakes now then into the Adelaide hairpin, and well, Button very slow there on the exit of the corner, and Vettel driving clean past him as they head down this straight then, and yeah, I'm not sure what that was all about for Button then, but just didn't have any drive out of the corner and just seemed to hand Vettel the 3rd place then. But yeah, up into a podium place already then. We're going to see a replay of it now then, and yeah, into the Adelaide hairpin. Vettel a little bit of a lock-up then. Yeah, that was really strange. Button just didn't seem to have any drive out of the corner and just handed Vettel the place. But we're skipping now then to lap 3, and that's actually catching Alonso now, so yeah, maybe Renault not looking as comfortable as it first looked after qualifying, but yeah, Vettel certainly all over the back of Alonso now then as they head round the corner where they collided last season of course, and now towards the Imola chicane, and Alonso with a little bit of a gap now, but this is where Vettel's strong, and he's seen a gap into Chateau d'Eau, and Alonso's tried to slam the door but it's not worked, and Vettel's up into 2nd place then, so this has turned into a fantastic drive. We're only on the 3rd lap then, so we're now going to see a replay in a second of that move, and here it is then. into in the chicane and Chateau d'Eau, and this is where Vettel was really pulling off all the moves last year. Famous battle with David Coulthard, of course, and certainly as it was before, really, Alonso trying to slam the door, but Vettel saw a gap and he went for it, and a few laps later then he sets a fast up a race. He goes on the attack of Fisichella, who was allowed to make a bit of a gap then after that battle between those behind, but Fisichella had a few good laps after this, so Vettel did struggle to catch him, but then as they begin the 10th lap, I believe it is, and he sets another fast lap, then the gap is staying around 2.5 to 3 seconds, and this is a crucial part of the race now then, as of course it was these two battling for the win in Canada, and Fisichella actually managed to stay out longer, which is what cost Vettel, or partly what cost Vettel, because he didn't have that extra lap on low fuel. But it looks like Fisichella has come in then on this lap, and that's really going to play into the hands of Vettel, and he's got another lap now on low fuel where he can just push now, and if he's lucky he can leapfrog Fisichella in the pits, and he'll be one on his way to win the race. You can see how high he's pushing that sideways through the Estoril curve, and we're going to skip to the end of the lap now then as he comes in for his pit stop, and this is going to have to be inch perfect from the Red Bull team now then to get him out. Maybe, I think it's going to be a long shot to get him out ahead of Fisichella, but if you can get him right onto the tail of the Renault, then he's got a real chance of overtaking him and potentially winning this race. It's a good stop then from the Red Bull team, and how he goes then, 7.4, that's as good as he could have hoped for then. So he's out of the pits then, Alonso stood out for another lap, so we're going to have to watch out for him. But as Vettel's getting up to speed then, where's Fisichella then? Can't see him yet, and there he is on the inside as they head around the Estoril curve, and Fisichella's just about got out ahead, but now Vettel out of the pits, he's right into the slipstream of the Renault then. He's on cold tyres, so it'll be a brave move if he can try it into this hairpin, and it looks like he's going for it. He's braked very late. His front tyres are still quite cold, but he's managed to pull off the move then, and it was a clean move, and he's up into what should be the lead of the race then, and we see it again now then. Vettel took him a while to get up to speed then with that narrow pit exit, and well, of course Fisichella with the inside line there, but of course Vettel knew that was probably going to be his best chance to take advantage of Fisichella, and of course he hadn't been able to consistently close in on him during the opening stint, so he knew that this was probably going to be his best chance to pounce on an opportunity, and a big lock up there, but credit to the two drivers, no contact between them, and Vettel then a brave move, and it gets him into the lead of the Grand Prix then, and provided Renault haven't done something genius here with Alonso, then Vettel should be taking the lead of the Grand Prix now then with 9 laps to go, and on the mini map it doesn't look like Alonso is going to be close enough to challenge the front two then, Vettel and Fisichella, so looks like 9 laps now for Vettel to try and hang on, but there's still more drama to come. There's Michael Schumacher still trying to pass Ralph, but his engine's failed, and how often do you say that about the Ferraris then? And almost never, and that is big news in the championship with Vettel on course to score 10 points. Schumacher, who was the championship leader, is going to score none, so who knows, is Vettel going to be right back into it now then with that DNF for Schumacher? We'll have to find out in due course, but on to the final lap then. Vettel has managed to build up a 5-second lead of Fisichella, and it really was a good drive from him today, and the Red Bull team to, well, it's a good qualifying overall from him because he has bottled a lot of them, and a good strategy from Red Bull today then, getting him out right with Fisichella to cross the line then to win the French Grand Prix. There are the final results then from today's French Grand Prix, and it's the second win of his career then for Sebastian Vettel, and the two Renaults then following second and third. Their home race, the celebrations are spoiled, and a bit of a surprise that Fisichella wasn't asked to give the place to Alonso, really, seeing as he isn't really in the championship battle, but nonetheless he's over the line ahead of Alonso today. Button in fourth then, no improvement on his qualifying. Ralf Schumacher couldn't convert that third place into a podium in the end. Massa then the first of the Ferraris in seventh, and Montoya and Raikkonen not having a good day. It really just seemed that McLaren just didn't have the pace this weekend, and a bad day then for Ferrari and McLaren. So overall not so bad for Renault, I guess. As we look further down the standings, then we see a very good drive there from Scott Speed, finishing 14th, and looking like he was ahead of Liuzzi all weekend, as we said. Trulli only 15th there in the other Toyota. Then it's Montero 17th in the 2. Super Gurries then both making it to the finish, and then 3 retirements today, Heidfeld Albers and the big one then, Michael Schumacher for Ferrari. But here's the points then from today's race. Vettel with the full 10 points, and it puts him back up into 3rd in the championship, but now level on points, so Schumacher and Alonso on 69 points. Vettel only 18 points behind him now with 7 rounds to go. So yeah, he should theoretically be right back in it with 70 points still to play for. And yeah, it's looking still like it's a 4-way fight for the title potentially. And yeah, it should be a rather exciting end to the season as we now into the 2nd European stint of the season. Looking at the constructors now, then Renault with the most points then today. And yeah, the 2 biggest rivals, Ferrari and McLaren there, only 6th and 7th in that particular fight then today. Renault then extending their lead to 17 points over Ferrari. That's almost a whole 1-2 finish ahead of them. So yeah, that's good for them today then. And yeah, not much else changing there. So here we are then, it's a 2nd career victory then for Sebastian Vettel, and here he is then spraying champagne with the 2 Renault drivers, and yeah, can he make it 3 at his home race next time out? So we're back in the motorhome now then, and the Red Bull team delighted with that result then. Another race win for them, their 2nd for that team as well then. So yep, they'll be very happy with that one. And yeah, there's the news from today then. The French Grand Prix won by Sebastian Vettel, and of course the other big story there, the DNF of Michael Schumacher, which really tightens up the championship once again then as we skip time. And that's interesting, the Renault team putting in an offer, but it's only a test drive role, so yeah, he won't be interested in that one. But yeah, we're skipping time now then to, this is it, the German Grand Prix, Vettel's home race. He goes there having won the previous round, so can he do it in front of the home crowd then? Or will it be another win for Ferrari? We'll have to find out next time. If you enjoyed this race out, make sure you leave a like. I'll see you next time for Germany. Thanks for watching, and goodbye.